Okay, now we're recording as soon as I'm like gulping my water. That was a really great way to start this. So if you're watching this on the replay, you missed that first half because I forgot to record it. But now let's talk about conversations. A topic that let me put my popcorn down too. A topic that we have chatted about so many times, but I still like to touch on it just because conversations are always changing. Conversations are not something that you could get wrong. I feel like half the time, like I was trying to figure out a way to say that without saying it like that, but like, let's be real. We're just going to call it how it is. Like, you can't be wrong, right? Okay. So I get people that come to me all the time and they say, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to be wrong. How many times has that come into your head? Like, you don't have to raise your hand or anything, but like, just think about it. Have you ever thought like, shoot, I don't want to mess this up. Shoot, they're interested. Let me ask my upline. Like, I don't want to mess this up, right? You can't mess it up. Let me just tell you, there is no wrong way to have a conversation. I talk to every single person that's in my inbox like I'm talking to y'all right now. I'm me. The only reason why you might be freaked out, and I'm just saying from experience of why I used to be freaked out, is because I wasn't confident in me and in this business, in my business, not in this business, but in my business. Once I got over that and I realized that I had my hands on gold, and more than that, I had my hands on like a bomb ass comp plan. Sorry for my language. But once I realized like I had those two factors, I got over myself and I just started talking to people like I would talk to each of you guys when you come into my inbox. You guys message me. If you message me or you message Britt, how many times are you guys like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry? How many times do you guys apologize for messaging your upline? Like, one, don't do that, because you have to have the confidence to know if you don't know something, you're coming to ask. That's what we are here for. But if you're coming to ask us with a screenshot and you know the answer, go with what your gut says and send that answer. Trust your gut. I want all of us to go into this year with a little bit more confidence in trusting that we know what we're doing. Yes, thank you. Taylor, I was literally like, I hope you're on here because I'm going to use you as an example. Taylor will message me and then 3 seconds later, like, be like, never mind. I did it. Like, never mind. Ignore me. I just needed to type it out. And I'm like, okay, was I needed for this conversation? And she's like, nope, you're good. And I'm like, okay. Like, have confidence to know that if it came into your head, it's because that's how you feel about it. If people ask you about our products, and you want to say, like, literally there are some days where, and the nurse in me like wants to like facepalm, but I'm literally like, it's amazing. It leaves me feeling like Superwoman. And I'm like, I know the science behind all of this. Like, why was that my response? But some days that's my response, right? That's okay because that's me. And then they're like, well, what is it? And then I can go into it, right? But you have to be you. If somebody comes to you and they want to talk to you, it's because they had a connection with you. If they had a connection with you on your page and you're talking one way, and then they come into your inbox and it's like all like formal and sophisticated, unless that's how you are. But I'm not even wearing a bra right now on this Zoom, y'all. Like, sorry, but like, let's be real. You know what I mean? Like this, sorry, honey, this is me. He's like looking at me like, you hit record. You realize that, right? But like, this is me. You know what I mean? This is how I talk to people. I am me. And I learned that the second I stopped trying to be like this, my business sunk. So when I stopped trying to be like me, my business kind of slowed down, not in conversations, but in my enrollments. A lot of times people are like, I have the conversations, but it's just not closing. I want you to go back and I want you to read some of those conversations and see, did it sound like you, or did it sound like somebody who was trying to make a sale? Did it sound like you, or did it sound like somebody who was trying to like sound like a top income earner in this company? Because I can tell you right now, I don't know what a top income of this earner of this company is supposed to sound like, but I know that I'm in the top 150 and I go on Zooms without my bra on and I don't know how to spell things, and like math is definitely not my forte. And if you ask me what flavor you like, I'm like, well, and I'll tell them why, but I add like my creamers into it and they're like, that's not the healthiest. And I'm like, yes, but it's very yummy. Like that's me. I don't hide that. When somebody can make a connection with you on a personal level and get to know your personality, it no longer becomes a sale and it becomes them trusting you. And then guess what? You have that trust forever. When someone has that connection with you and somebody trusts you, that doesn't just go away. Then they feel comfortable to come to you if they're having an issue with the products. Then they feel comfortable to come to you if they want to join your team. I've had so many customers reach back out to me to join my team because they love the products and they knew they could come to me. If you started as a customer, why did you then go to your enroller? It wasn't because like they scared you shitless and you were like, I can't talk to them, right? It was because they made you feel comfortable that you could come to them. So there is no wrong way to do a conversation. If you are being you, you can't mess it up. If somebody wants these products, if somebody is ready to use them and somebody wants the benefits and you share it, if they want them, they'll enroll with you. If they don't, it's not because you messed it up, it's because they weren't ready. And I think a lot of times we turn the word no into shoot, we did something wrong, or we messed that up, or they were so ready. But the truth is, if you want something and you're ready to buy it, you're gonna buy it. If you want something and you're ready to jump into and you want this business, you're going to jump and you're going to do it. So instead of turning no's or not right now's or people not responding after like a couple messages into shoot, what did I say wrong? And I'm so guilty of this, of like overthinking, like rerunning, like what if I would have said it this way? Or what if I would have said that instead of this? Like they would have said this. No. You said what you said. There's nothing wrong with it. If they want it, they have the information and they will come back to you and you have that relationship built. Add them to your potentials list so you can interact with them and follow up with them on Fridays, because I call my Fridays follow-up Fridays. Do you get where I'm coming with that though? How many times have you gotten a message and you instantly are like, well, I want to say this, but I shouldn't. Why shouldn't you? What in that is so awful that you couldn't say it? I guarantee you nobody's being like, well, it's this, that, or the other, and it's like, and it's blah, blah. And like, you're not going to use blah, blah, or it's this, that, or the other. You're going to talk about it. You're going to use your personal testimony. You're going to go into it and you're going to have a real conversation. If they were sitting next to you on your couch, what would you say to them? How would you respond to them? That's how you should respond to them when they message you. When you want to know how to follow up, genuinely follow up, right? Be like, hey, like, I know you were interested in this. I know you had those goals. Like, if we have this promo going on until Wednesday, it's $150 free shipping. You get either Sculpt or Shakes for free. If this is something that you want to do, this is an amazing deal. It's saving you a lot of money. Let me know. Something so simple that's genuine. Obviously not word for word, don't use my words, but it's so genuinely simple that when I follow up with people, I don't overcomplicate it. I don't sit there and I don't write out XYZ. It has this ingredients, that ingredients, this is what you do. Because if they're not asking you how to use the products and that's how you're answering them, if they're asking you, hey, what do your products do? And you're telling them that it's so simple, it's done in the first 20 minutes of your day. Okay, great. But like, what do your products do? And you're like, well, it's all natural. And like, you're going on like that. You still have not answered their question. When simply you could say, well, for me, and if I were to answer, if someone were to just ask me right this second and be like, what do your products do? For me, right this second, I would say, well, I'm a busy new mom. It gives me energy. It gives me mental clarity. It helps me with my appetite control and my weight management. All around, it keeps me from being a mom, like a mom zombie. That would literally be my response to someone right now. Nowhere in that was it anything technical. It was just me sharing my personal testimony. That's what people want. That's what people need. when they come to you and they message you and you go straight into it's so simple. It's done in the first 20 minutes of your day. It's a simple vitamin shake and capsule or vitamin shake and patch. Sorry, y'all. Literally, my brain is fried today. Vitamin shake and patch, like it's so simple. It's this, that, or the other. It's this much, or we have this many shake flavors, or it's all natural. It's gluten-free. It's non-GMO. If you're going into all of that and they haven't asked and they just wanted to know what it does and you can't even think of your fives for your product, and here I go with my fives list. I swear, y'all, we should turn this into some sort of game of how many times I can mention a fives list on a team training, because I think I'm real good at it, But for real, if you don't have your product fives list, how are you supposed to talk to customers? Your product fives list is there for stories, for posts, for talking and conversations with customers. I see you, dog. Get away from my popcorn. Sorry. If you don't have your fives and then somebody comes to you and they want you to tell them what the products do, how are you supposed to randomly spew them out, right? If you have your fives in your head, it's so simple. Oh, it does this, this, and this. You already have 5 things of what the products do for you. So when you're having conversations, I want you to stop thinking, oh, sorry, the dog's about to close the laptop. I want you to stop thinking that you're doing something wrong or that you're going to mess it up or that what you have to say isn't enough for the conversation. Or that now I'm not saying 3-way chats with your upline aren't necessary, because of course, like 100%, you can always do those. You can always ask your upline if they're available for a 3-way chat if you want the support. But if you're just screenshotting every conversation and sending it over and you've been in this industry for months and months and months or years, right? It's time to take the training wheels off. And I mean that with a ton of tough love, that you got to be willing to fail forward. If you're not allowing yourself to have those awkward conversations as you learn and to fail forward and use each conversation as a lesson, you're never going to be able to hold a conversation on your own. And then you're never going to be able to teach your downline how to, and then you're never going to be able to do 3-way chats with your downline. Because if you screenshot every single message and then the person you enroll comes to you and they're like, hey, can you do a 3-way chat? What are you going to do? Screenshot the 3-way chat to your upline every single time? No. You know what I mean? I'm sure you would like to, but no. If you're in my downline, I'm going to tell you no. Because you got to take the training wheels off and you got to realize that it's okay to fail forward and you're not going to do anything wrong. And at the end of the day, as long as you're sharing your personal testimony and you're sharing truly what's you and what matters to you about the business and the products, they're going to relate to you or they're not. They're going to already want to join or they're not. They're going to want to be able to spend the money or they're not. No matter what you say is not going to mess it up. It's either going to solidify the fact that they came to you because they were ready, or they could just come to you and have no intentions of buying. And then your mindset is like, shoot, they said no or they ghosted me. But in reality, they had no interest in spending the money. I get that all the time. My Instagram DM is full of people especially after I posted my before and afters today, of people saying, what do you use? How do I get it? And I tell them and they left me on red. And I'm like, okay, listen, we got a really good deal right now. And they left me on red because they weren't actually ready. They were just nosy. There's a difference between somebody who's a potential and somebody who's just nosy. Don't allow those people who are nosy to ruin your mindset for your potentials. So that's what I have. Britt, do you want to add any more?
Yeah, I think that's just something that's really, really important is the mindset around the conversation too, and not overcomplicating it. This was something that I did. I came from like a company that was so copy and pasty and cold messagey and, scripty, that it was really hard for me to get myself in the groove at the beginning. And I'm trying to take myself back to more of the beginning of network marketing for you guys, because conversations are like the second hand for me now. Like literally I'm like this, blah, 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 blah. My kid's talking to me and I can still not, I'm still intentional because I am paying attention to their need. And I'm just talking to them like I would talk to you guys. You know how I am. I say it how it is usually. I give you guys a tough love. I'm bold. That's my personality though. You know what I mean? That might not be your personality. What I want you guys to do is just embrace you. Embrace yourself in the conversation. Stop second guessing yourself. Stop asking for validation from your upline. That's the other thing. I know that like we'll have a I'll have a lot of screenshots, especially in the morning time from people, and it will be like they had the whole conversation back and forth and they'll screenshot it to me. And I'm like, girl, you own that shit. Like, sorry, you owned that. Like, don't doubt yourself. And a lot of times I don't read the whole thing, truthfully, because if you were bold enough to have that conversation and say all those things that you meant in that conversation, whether it's good or bad, you're judging it or not, it's perfectly perfect for you. That's the thing about it. You just need to know the key to this business. And honestly, and if I could say one thing, is your bread and butter is conversations. So if you're not having any, or you're having small amount, maybe, I don't know, you need to get more intentional in this conversation part. We're in a networking business. Networking is building friendships. So every single day I'm building friendships with people. I'm connecting with people. I'm having conversations with people. That is how I end up having people in my inbox asking what I do, because of that consistency with friendship building. Okay. Second of all, with that is don't overthink what you already know. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be sloppy. It can be whatever, but just answer honestly. Maybe you do better with voice messaging. Maybe you hate voice messaging, whatever. It doesn't have to be me. I do everything. Sometimes I'll even video text, which some people are like spooked out by, which eventually they'll tell me that, and it builds a better relationship. Cause I'm like, I know people get scared about that. I just call myself out and I own who I am, and I'm bold enough to go for the no. And if there is a no, a no is never a no. It's just a not right now. And the thing about it is, if you're constantly letting those no's hold you back, like Winslow said, then the perspective of your mindset needs to shift to what you're telling yourself, because that is a mindset piece then. And that is where I'm so big on, because we can give you all the tools. We can give you all the things that you need to get up those mountains that you're climbing right now. But you have to be bold enough to be you. You have to be bold enough to own your failing forward. There's never going to be a right or wrong, you guys. I've been in this industry for 4 years. If you've seen half the messages, half of my posts, like, oh my God, I hate looking at my memories. I'm like, how the heck did I even sign people back then? Like, truthfully. Like, and the thing is, I did because I was me. And I just tried every single day until I found what worked for me. And I'm still in a development phase. Like, now that I'm leveling up into a new level, I'm rebranding my conversations. I'm redoing them a little bit differently. And it's just about owning that. But if you're not owning that part though in the conversation and being confident, sales is a transfer of confidence. I don't sell, I share, but I am going to transfer confidence to my person that I'm talking to, because guess what? I'm the freaking key to someone's life changing. I needed me and me 5 years ago. I needed me and me 2 years ago. And if I didn't have someone in my like peripheral view on my timeline I scrolled through 2 years ago, holy crap, I couldn't even imagine where I'd be right now. Someone needs a you. Isn't that crazy? Someone out there is watching you, inspired by you, and someone needs a you. So your struggles, if you're not sharing those in conversations, if you're not like getting deep into those moments with people, there's the disconnect. You're not being people. How would you talk to your best friend? How would you talk to your mom, your kid, your spouse, whatever? I mean, don't yell at them if you do that often, but like for real, you need to just realize, I will be like, girl, you're broke right now. This is me, and Lindsay does things very different than me, but I'll be like, okay, so you're coming to me because you're broke. I get that. And I want to help you in that. But if you don't make a change in this circumstance that you keep repeating, 6 months of messages back and forth between me, when is enough enough? You've been talking to me for 6 months, and this is the same conversation we keep having. And I'm going to keep having it with you because I believe in you. I see something in you, but I can't make you believe in yourself. You have to want that change. Like, I talk to people like this. They'll be like, wow, she's real bold. And if they're not for me, they're not for me. my business is going to flourish no matter what, because I'm focused on what I do and what I'm bringing in and what brand I'm bringing it towards. So don't look at it as an obstacle. Look at it as an opportunity. Stop taking no's as like the world's ending. The sky is not falling, you guys. If you get a no, or if someone leaves you on red and doesn't respond, it's not going to kill you. It's fine. Move on. Next conversation. Stop being hard on yourself. Love yourself where you're at, but feel your way forward, doing the things that you need to be doing, which are conversations and your IPAs. Okay? That's it for me. I'm done. I'm thirsty.
I'm done how you go. Okay. But yeah, sorry. That's my favorite noise that because you do it on voice mom all the time. She'll be like, okay. And then she'll end it. And I'm like, all right, message heard. Got it. Over and out. But honestly, and if there's one thing that you leave here after watching this tonight is that I hope that you know that at the end of the day, the only person that can build your business and can change your conversations or can grow your conversations are always going to be you. Brittany and I, or whoever enrolled you, can only give you so much help before you have to learn how to help yourself. If you aren't willing to take the advice or or you're just listening, you're not adapting it. Sorry, my dog wants this popcorn and he won't leave till I give it to him. But if you aren't adapting to the advice that we're giving you and you're not willing to apply it and you're just listening to it and you're just coming back for more help every single day, we're here to help you. But there comes a time where we can tell you, like you can ask us over and over again, what color is the sun? And we can say yellow. And then the next day you can say, hey, again, to remind me, what color is the sun? And we'll say yellow. And then 3 days later, you're like, oh, I forgot what you said. What color is the sun? I won't reply. Really. Not because I don't have anything to tell you, but because I've now told you 2 or 3 times how to answer how I would answer this type of exact question. I told you 2 or 3 times what this means or what this is. And there comes a time where you have to learn how to find it on your own with your resources or be willing to scroll up. If you're looking for an easy way out of something, and this is something that I always tell people about weight and finances. If you are struggling in finances, if you're struggling with your weight, it did not happen overnight. Your financial struggles did not occur because it literally overnight you decided to make a change, right? It's a compound effect. The compound effect, and I love that book, but you can do it in 2 different ways, a positive way or a negative way. Your compound effect, it happens with financial struggles. It starts to go and go and go and go and go. And then compound effect can happen with weight. You gain 3 pounds and then you gain 30 pounds. And then like, you're like me and you're like, wow, I just need this to go. Right? Like, but it doesn't happen overnight. Your weight didn't come on overnight. Your financial struggles didn't come on overnight. You have to realize that if you want your weight off or your financial struggles gone, it's not going to go away overnight. The same compound effect it took to get it there is the same compound effect it's going to take to get rid of it. So if it took you a year and you've been struggling financially for a year, give yourself a year to start unstruggling, right? Not saying that it's going to take an entire year to see a change in your business, but dedicate yourself a year, right? Dedicate the time it took you to get into that struggle. If you aren't willing to then dedicate that same amount of time to rebuild yourself, exactly, give yourself grace. If you aren't willing to fail forward, you can't tell yourself and you can't look in the mirror and say, honestly, that you're ready for change and that you're ready to grow and that this business is going to be that resource and that tool and that vehicle. Because you can ask me 17 times what color the sun is, and I'm going to tell you it's yellow every single time until I stop replying, because it's time you learn to use your resources in the team page, right? Use your resources in the team chat. Use your resources on the cloud office, right? Use your resources on my YouTube channel. Use your resources in Britt's podcast, right? It depends what you need help with. Find your resource for it. Do not be afraid because you're struggling right now to step forward and allow that compound effect to start happening in a positive way. It's probably been happening in a negative way, and it's got to start happening in a positive way. But the only way that's going to happen is if you take the first step to get there and you keep taking those steps. But if you aren't willing to apply what you're learning, and you're on this Zoom, we've been on this Zoom for 40 minutes now, and I've talked enough, so we'll end it in just a second. But we've been on this Zoom for 40 minutes. If you aren't willing to apply what we're teaching you of using your conversations as you, soaking in and applying what you're using, saving things that you find helpful and useful tips, if you aren't willing to apply those things, there's not much more I can do or Brittany can do, right? Except for tell you over and over and over and over and over. But the compound effect can't happen in a positive way till you're applying them. It has to be something that you're doing in order for it to happen. Just like your financial struggles or your weight struggles or whatever your struggles are, they were something you did. It's the same thing for this business. If you want to use it as a vehicle to get out of those struggles, you got to do the effort to put in to get you out of it. So I'm going to leave it on that. And if you have not read or listened to The Compound Effect, I highly, highly, highly suggest, I know I've said this a couple times, it is actually one of my favorite books. And then also, what am I listening to right now? It's like Mindset of a Millionaire. What is it? Hold on. I'll find it and I'll tell you. It's in my
I have that book. And it is so good for money block limitations.
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Mm-hmm. There we go. Thank you, Kelly. I put it in my team chat. And if you're having any mind block, I recently was. I was petrified to spend any money. Like I literally for the last 3 weeks have not left my house because I was like, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to spend money. And Rob was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't want to spend money. We can't leave. And he was like, oh, okay. Because I was so afraid and I had this mindset block and my enrollments were awful because I have this mindset block that if I spent it, it was gone forever without realizing it's a compound effect and I've built it. So it's going to continue to build as long as I build it. So just remember that whatever you want to build, whatever you want to change, you got to take the steps in the compound effect of it and apply what you're learning to make it happen. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and we'll see you guys later.